Hey YouTubers, Mr. Wilson the Car Guy here, coming at you with a DIY on how to change your brake booster on your Range Rover full-size HSE body. Common failure on these is the brake booster will fail internally, the diaphragm will fail, and you will get a hard brake pedal when it's cold. And also, you will get a check engine light for 171 and 174 lean codes, because that line that goes into the brake booster goes directly into your intake manifold. So when that line goes, it starts sucking air through the brake booster. And that's what happened in my case. This is an '08 Supercharged. And I'm going to give you a nice tip that's going to make this job quick and easy. It looks like a daunting job at first, and brake boosters are usually a pain in the neck on most cars. But the neat thing about this car, which makes it really easy if you know what to do ahead of time, are a few things. First off, on this particular vehicle, the full sizes are a lot easier because there's more room inside this, let's say, gullyway. There is a plastic bracket that comes off, which is this guy right here. This guy sits in here, and you have a few screws you have to take to get that off. It has a couple screws on top that you can see. They're plastic nuts, and then there's 210s that hold it on the side panel. And you do have to remove this rubber grommet and the 10mm nut that goes through the windshield washer motor bracket. And you can pull right up and out on that. It actually has it's a little rubber donut that sits around your brake lines, and it has a nice snap on the back, so you can unsnap it, unfold it, and that's actually slotted right here, so you can pull right up and out. Once you get this guy out of the way, it gives you really good access to get in here and to remove your 13mm locking nuts for your brake master cylinder. And on the other side, you will, let me bring a light with me. On the other side, you're going to have to drop your lower kick panel. Once you drop that lower kick panel, you will be able to see two bolts holding, sorry about this video, I'm not a professional YouTuber, but there's a nut there, and there's one on the opposite side, which is difficult to get to. You're going to need a 1/4" 13 to get up in there and get clearance. And then there is a pin that's pretty self-explanatory. It's right there, that slides out of your arm connection. It's got a little locking clip right there in the back. You just pry up and push forward on that. A trick with this lower kick panel is it has torque screws all the way around it, which is self-explanatory, and it also has a plastic clip right here, which doesn't really want to unscrew. It's a press fit, so you got to pull on the panel with that clip at the same time. So you'll have to do that last once you get the panel free. But the very, very tricky part is right here. There's a Phillips screw hiding that goes right here, and you can't see that because this trim panel, which goes up alongside your stereo, clips in and locks over it. So you'll never get that lower kick panel off unless you get to that hidden screw by removing this panel, taking this Phillips out, and once you remove that panel, you're going to see that hidden screw. Sorry for me moving around real fast. So that's the only trick under there. Everything else is pretty straightforward till you find that hidden screw back there under that panel. So here's the really good trick advice I'm going to give you. It's going to save a lot of time on this job. Factory Range Rover manual says you need to disconnect your brake master cylinder to do this job. Now that is where all your time is going to come in, is bleeding that master out again, bleeding all the lines out again. That, I think, is going to take longer to do than this actual job itself. Now, These lines do have a little bendability right here, and they don't twist. You can pop out your master cylinder, which is in there really, really good. It doesn't pop right out because this ridge holds it in. You got to get behind it with a pry tool, preferably something like this right here. And you're gonna have to pry it forward a little at a time on each ear, and it'll pop forward. So once you get that to pop forward, you can bend it up and rest it right here. And as you can see, the lines aren't all kinked up. They're going to go back in just fine because there's nothing holding them in, so they move pretty easily. So that's going to save you a ton of time. And then you can pull this forward and wrap the wiring harness around, as well as this is your feed line from your intake manifold. It unsnaps. It has a junction down there that two vacuum lines snap into. You just push the button in and pull them. Make sure you feed this line under the two brake lines. If you get a used, this line is a real pain in the neck to get out. If you buy a used one of these with this already in there, great, reuse that one, because popping them in and out, they're in there with high force, and that is a cheap plastic line. So anyhow, once you get this up, you get your two nuts on the other side and your pin out. This will just pull right forward, and then you're going to cock it at an angle and lift it right up and out around this harness right here. So anyhow, that's the quick and dirty on how to do a brake booster on a full-size Range Rover. I hope this video can help you out. If you like, please click the like button and subscribe.